It's Schmuel Buckman. What's going on, kids? I just got booted from Eccles Stream, and I set aside till 6 p.m. to stream. So I figured I would just quickly come on here and say hello and see what's going on. It's Dabbleverse Awards Day. We were reviewing some of those awards on the Pineapple, and he had every right to kick me off. I was putting shit in the chat, and I can't stand it when people do it to me. So, but there we go. But there were some questions, and I felt we had to ask them. We were talking about best work of the year, and Echo felt the best work was Karmic getting the mask, and that was a work. And I don't think that I don't know, didn't feel like a work. So I thought the best work of the year was Patrick uh, saying he owned his house and then finally getting caught that he didn't. So my question is did Melton find out he was not on the deed, or did he know all along he wasn't on the deed? Because isn't that what makes it a work, right? If he knew, then it's a work. Um, and if he didn't, then he found out. But I don't know. Patrick seems a little too intelligent to me to have just had that happen to him by accident. Um, the Aussie guy, none of us believe you'll only go 17 minutes. I'd send you the link, buddy, but I'm afraid you're. I wouldn't want you getting into a fight with your friend the pineapple. I was I was kicked off for chatting. I put two chats into the chat thing, both related to Roach, because I thought I don't know. I didn't know what we were supposed to do, but I didn't want to just let them go. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have remembered them. So there we go. We'll do Granny the link at some point, Cigarette Jones, but right now I can't because I literally do. At 6 o'clock, I got to shut this shit down because I got a Christmas party to go to, and then I promised I would be back uh, at some point tonight for my buddy Dave Sarah and his awards show. Um, I do believe I don't know if the time is right, but I think it's 13 hours ahead in Perth, correct? it would be used to be 12, but I think it's 13. During daylight savings time here, it's different. Aussie can answer the question. So, is it a quarter to 6 or a quarter to 7 in the morning uh, in Australia? And why are you watching this stuff? Um, Part of me, and like I get, the what do you call it? I got two sides to the family. So yeah, so it's 13 hours ahead in Australia. Um, by the way, it's great having when you don't get out of bed, like I don't get out of bed. It's great having Aussie because then in the middle of the night, like at 2 in the morning, you can send him DMs and it's like 2 in the afternoon. Metal Gear's one old. Hey, bud. Um, there we go. Uh, Brennan just went live to stick it to Schmuel. Actually, Brennan is going live to stick it to Dave. So um, he Dave has got this stuff up here and going to do the Dabbleverse Awards, and then Brennan decided last night that he's going to do some of his own awards. He actually asked Dave to come on. They'll work something out. It's not really sticking it to Dave, but in a way, sticking it to Dave. Um, Happy Hanukkah, Shmuel. That does not start. Oh, it does. It starts at sundown tonight, I believe. So happy Hanukkah to my fellows out there. But I'm like what do you call it? I would never really talk about this. I'm not practicing, but I'm if we were in the 1930s Germany, um, I would be rounded up, but I don't know that what what you guys would consider me here. Um, Never holiday in Australia in summer. Guru, I think it depends upon where you're going. And Mrs. Buckman, I gotta yawn. Sorry, Mrs. Buckman is going there for I think 3 weeks or a month in January. Um, so she'll enjoy it. This is not Shabbat Shalom, but close enough, my friend. Close enough. Um, so there we go. Johnny Chopsticks Fallout. Um, Shmuel Buckman. I wonder if he's Jewish. Um, uh, Fucking Ray was going to dox me the other night, so he could have found out he could have gotten all the answers. So Final Boss, you're going live tonight. True, correct? Um, I'm not allowed on your stream. So let me run through some of these. I just want to run through. I don't have any inside information, obviously, and I'm just going to pick people out of the blue. But the first category, best expose. I mean, what do you mean by an expose? To expose or whatever. My best expose was what do you call it? My best expose was the second set of Stuttering John tapes, which I thought that to me was exposing, um, and it was also real. And feel free to disagree. These are just these are my ramblings. Rookie of the year. I really would have liked to have it been Tommy Jordan. Sorry, but I think he came on too late. I think it's got to go to Karmic. Whenever I think of these things, I always try to think of impact, and no one's had a bigger impact over the year that's new than Karmic. So it has to go there. Uh, but I think some up and comers to look at for next year with Tommy Jordan. I think Kim Nicholson is going to come in with a bang. Um, and that's about it for my rookie. Those are the two that I see that I think could really do something next year. I think Kim could really do something. She was on Aussie Guy's show last week. Great guest. And she's really good. She's really good at this, smart and quick. So I really liked her. Um, I don't get this grifter of the year, biggest grift category. Um, I would have to say Karmic is the biggest grifter of the year to me. uh, I I don't believe 90% of the things that he says. So I, you know, I think it's a grift, but there you go. The best chatter squabble. I'm reading off a list. The best chatter squabble. I really enjoyed Ava and Rochi, and they were in my chat. And so I don't think I watch enough stuff, um, enough streams to really be too familiar with a lot of the Chatterverse beefs, but that was one of the best. Um, this young lady, pretty antisocial pod afternoon fellas. Her pretty antisocial and Echo Pineapple, I think, would be my two breakout people of 2025. Um, I, but I think they do different shows. This is what's confusing to me, right? So you ask me like, what's best Clipper, and then I'm like, well, could you give me like a definition? When they do the Oscars and they say a movie that did blah blah blah. Same thing here. Like, um, I think Joe Burrow is fantastic, but I wouldn't think he's a Clipper, but Joe adds a bunch of stuff to it. Um, Doom and Stallion are more traditional Clippers. Stallion's clip the other day of Keanu, Ava, Scarlett, and Matt was probably the best clip of the year. Um, but Stallion spent so much of the year on Steel Toe. I don't know. So I'm going to go with Doom. Um, but it also depends upon how you do it. And then honorable mention to Brandon Deft, because Brandon was coming on strong, but I don't think he's been around um, enough for the year to sort of fit in there. Um, Johnny Chopstick, Steel Toe breakout of jail. Johnny, I would say you're wrong only because I think the most comfortable 8 days that Steel Toe has had this year um, has been in jail. He didn't have to worry. He didn't have a goal. Got to play basketball, and it doesn't appear that that jail is too terribly dangerous. Freaked me out because of the locked door and all the noise and shit. But I think Steel Toe 8 day paid state vacation. He might be the winner in that category. All right, let's go to that's best job. Best best work of the year. Um, this one's a tough one for me. I'm half joking, but I think uh, Patrick uh, Patrick's work. Eventually, they get revealed, right? But Patrick's work of being the owner of his house. So that's it. We did Clipper of the year. Best first year Clipper, Sam Bibley. And then again, you could argue, is Sam Bibley a Clipper or a creator? Because a Clipper, a Clipper clips and shows, right? I think that's what we mean here. Um, Sam Bibley takes the clips and, like so thorough Joe Burrow, edits them, puts stuff into it, and uh, I so I think it's a different category, but as first year Clipper, I would go with my friend Sam Bibley, who's not really my friend, but I like the guy. Um, Best show of the year. So this is another one that could use a definition. So best show, meaning best overall show of the year, is a category. Um, Best episode of a show. Um, best episode of a regular stream, I think would be a separate category, but then you'd have to sit down and watch all of the nominees. So I don't know where you go there. And look, I vacillate, like depending upon what week it is, depends upon what my best show is. Uh, but my regular go-tos, of course, Pat Dixon, because if I didn't say that, then Pat definitely wouldn't be coming. No, Pat Dixon, but definitely Blind Mike, I don't think gets enough Dabbleverse credit. I think he's in the Dabbleverse enough. I really dig Who Are These Socials? Uh, I I would, and I like. Don't get me wrong here, Carl. I love Carl, but I would like Mike doing Who Are These Socials with somebody else. But Who Are These Socials is a great show. And it's also hard for me to say what's a great show, like what's the best show, what's not. So I'd like have categories of like what's the best regular show. If you've got shows 2 or 3 times a week, to me they go into different categories. Um, Look, hands down, um, I guess the Dabbleverse would, I think, would say that Tukey probably puts on the best show. I think it's the least interrupted by the super tips. I don't think he uh, spends a lot of time asking for money. The quality of the show is good. Um, in new shows, first year shows, I'm going with NJ and Flimsy with NJ Ranger Live. NJ does puts a lot of work into those shows. He's very thoughtful. Again, it's different than Tukey. Tukey is more comedic and funny, and NJ is more of a review show. Um, Guru One, Chow and Mira Morons. Um, so Guru One, here's the deal. I don't think Chow's a moron, but I do think Mira's a moron. Um, so there we go. And Guru One Flimsy is a fake tough guy. I can't. I'm not into the like either way. I don't really care honestly. I watch these people's shows. I've met Flimsy. I've met NJ Ranger. Great guys outside, but what the fuck do I care um, uh, about that? Um, I I do I do like stuff. Chaos was hoping Schmuel would hold on. Stealth Chaos was hoping Schmuel would gatekeep Panderer of the Year. Who's the Panderer of the Year? You can tell me that. Um, and hey, there we go. Salute to Nice Podcast Stupid. Dan has at least one fan that we know about. All right. Um, Stealth, I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'll be on late tonight, and I really would like you to. I'll send you a link, and you and I can review what these awards were, and also we can argue about uh, how you would think that Mir Musk wins any show of whatever, but. Not the real Anthony Cumia. I think we found our candidate for worst episode of worst show. Uh, the first 17 shows in the category of worst episode of worst show are mine. I get it. So there we go. All right. That was best work, Clipper, best first year Clipper, best show. So I gave my super chatter of the year. I think Brian Landon uh, sent me $100 super tip, so he would be my best super chatter of the year. Um, oh, you know what? I should go back. Thank you for reminding me. I should go back. Best work of the year. Me handing out $20 at Hackamania. It's stuck. It's funny, and it's totally work. So there we go. So I can't really do the. I don't watch enough to do the super chatter of the year, the free chatter of the year, female super chatter, female chatter of the year. And for you guys that are like, uh, why isn't there a best man? Why isn't there? Because honestly, it's all men. So that's it. Uh, when are the Schmuelies? The Schmuelies will be around um, in that season. What do they call that? Award season, like post Super Bowl, March kind of thing. Um, KB, I will hopefully see you in Atlantic City. I will be handing out ballots there. Um, so I'm going to skip those. Provocateur of the year. Uh, how about you cats put in who you think the provocateur of the year is? And then I want to go to the next one is hack of the year. And who, how, and what are we defining as hack? Um, but uh, Magdalena is Dan for hack of the year. That's oh wait, I'm sorry. She wants provocateur. Hack, yeah, hack of the year. I don't know. I mean, it could be me, but I'm not going to include myself in any list. I don't. I don't know what. I don't know about hack. Um, the Aussie guy. Make sure you wrap those those ballots with $20 bills. I'm going to wrap the ballots with my name on them in there. But Ozzy, if you would like to join me in that venture, it would be cool to keep me honest. I One of the reasons why I bowed out of doing uh, this stuff. I never intended to do an awards list. I just wanted to get a list together and I wanted to categorize people. And I was hoping somebody would pick up the ball, and they did. Um, but I'm uncomfortable putting myself on any list. So I won't do it. Cigarette Jones, I think Stealth, best attempted provocateur of the year, but he constantly bails out. So that's the problem. We said hack of the year. So all right. The only vote I had for provocateur was Dan, and the only provocateur. And then who was the hack of the year from you guys? I'm gonna the um, breakthrough breakthrough dabbler of the year. The breakthrough dabbler of the year for me personally um, was pretty antisocial pod for their impact. I think they had a lot of impact on the Dabbleverse, and so I think we've got to give them the credit for that. Personal favorites, though, I really like OG Mumbling Nick. I don't know that is Alva this year. I think Alva definitely broke through uh, Suda Tuktar, and the guy who never gets any credit, our friend, the Panhandler, right? Um, as much as he says he's not a guy, we all know he's a guy. So let's include Panhandler in that category, and let's do what do you call it? Think about these because I'd like to know what you guys think later. Um, we have most missed chatter. Uh, not a Not one that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, there are so many, like, but my personal thing, AB used to be in the chat all the time, and I haven't seen AB in forever. So I don't know there. Where did we go? So that was most mischatter, breakthrough dabbler, the armless waiter, person who brings nothing to the table. I mean, I think karmic, but that's just me. Um, uh, you've got, I mean, you definitely have candidates in there, right? Uh, the granny. Um, so there's me, there's granny. Um, I don't know who else is who are some of our armless waiters. I, look, I think I don't know when I say about karmic not bringing anything to the table. Um, he may not, but he certainly brings other people. Um, Degenerate of 2025, Stuttering John. I think he's just the actual, the whatever. Uh, Best crash out, certainly karmic. Um, he's just had the best crash outs. Now, the question is karmic's best crash out also the best work of the year? And there we go. All right. Dave Sauer went live, and um, any second I'm going to get a text to tell me I got to get dressed. Um, Not Victoria. You should have actually been nominated for one of those dumb things. Don't know which one. I am not kidding. Stealthy. I don't know what the deal is, pal, but you just seem to like to just kind of make trouble. Um, or it's the Dan syndrome of just like going after popular people. All right. I'm reading what you said. Atnick Victoria, you should have actually been nominated for one of these dumb things. Do you know which one? I'm not kidding. I don't think she's done it in. That's it. All right. I got my 5-minute warning. You can hear the fancy shoes going. Um, I like Victoria, I think is an essential part of the chat. So she's good. She puts stuff in, and I think we met at the first Hackamania, and I kind of like her. Schmuel is saying you need more clout to go after popular people stealth. Um, yeah, he doesn't need more clout. He just needs more foundation, right? Like, um, you can't pop in and shit on everybody, but not demonstrate that you have the ability to do what you're shitting on other people for. Having said all that, I will say that he definitely did give Karmic the best advice I've seen anybody give Karmic. So, all right, I'm gonna do 4 more and then I'm out of here. Um, uh-huh. uh, Cringe moment of the year, I would give that to Stuttering John and the Kate Meany tapes. Best beef of the year, I don't know. Because it's like I don't know what's real and I don't know what's fake. Um, but uh, I think best fake beef, Karmic and Dixon. I think Dixon was definitely real, but the Karmic I think was just making shit up. But if we went best beef and stalker of the year, got to give it to Felicia versus Pat Dixon. Um, the Holier and Now award, I'll save that. Uh, Biggest fall from grace. I'm gonna consider that. Like who started 2026, 2025 big and popular, and now on the door of 2026 is not doing well. I guess I mean TSN seems like the obvious choice. Maybe Bob Levy after he left TSN, but Bob and those guys will be back. Um, Best disabled content creator. The only disabled content creator that I'm aware of is Quadfather, so he wins that hands down. And we've got the rest of my notes. All right, so there's some other stuff. Worst backfire of work of the year, I've got to go with Chad going to Mersha's house. It was ridiculous. That was just not only dumb, but it exposed Chad because as a comedian, he should have gone on stage with him. But I think Mersh kicked his ass so much on what do you call it, on MLC, that there's there. All right. Karmic is mentally fucked. Yes. Uh, I think he is, and I think you add drugs and stuff to that. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. It's been great. Aussie guy. I will talk to you later, and I'm looking forward to seeing your stream in the morning. I will see you guys later tonight. I will be on with Mr. Dave, and I will also, if I don't get back in time, I will do my own if his show ends. Um, and I do want to say that I think the biggest victim of the year, seriously, without not fake victim. Like I think Ashley was a victim of the trolls and nasty people. So she would be my biggest victim in that. But the biggest actual victim of the year, who's being victimized on a daily basis, Scarlett Hampton. And didn't take very long, but that is one.